Welcome back to this exciting Nerdverse Veteran Battle Update. The past weekend was Veterans Day, a battle was brewing and imminent, and boy did it explode. It has been the most action-packed week yet, filled with battling, diplomacy deals, and occupation of an alliance, and so much more. I've got some juicy stories to share with you all, but before we get into those, let's see how the leaderboard looks. From the data collected on Sunday, November 11th, for the week of November 6th through November 11th, we're seeing that the vets have been holding the lead the whole way through the week. The featured Veteran Alliance First Vet Div has a whopping 246,090 influence, more than doubling last week's data. They've gotten amazing progress, climbing to level 31 and occupying 29 cities. 1 level 6 city, 7 level 5 cities, 11 level 4 cities, and the rest level 3s. Nerdcore, on the other hand, suffered quite a few blows this week. Internal strategic disagreements, mutiny, and ultimately occupation by the veterans. They came in with 146,630 influence and made it to level 28. They also managed to take 5 cities, 1 level 6, 2 level 5s, and 1 of each for level 4 and 3. Although Nerdcore has now been occupied, during the week they were still ahead in PvP battles. 1,186 PvP battles and nearly 2.5 million enemy soldier kills. First Vet Division engaged in 747 PvP battles and had a couple thousand shy of 2.2 million enemy soldier kills. As usual, let's give a little love to the non-featured Nerd and Veteran Alliances. The 6 Nerd Alliances have racked up 333,770 influence, while the 14 Veteran Alliances have built up their influence to 85,160. The odds right now may not be in the Nerds' favor, but like all real wars, the tide can change at any time with potentially one decision, one plan, one move. Many have underestimated the vets in the beginning, but we should know to never underestimate the underdog. In the same breath, even though Nerdcore has been occupied, we'd be a fool to declare a winner this early in the game. Perhaps next week I'll have surprises from the battlegrounds for you all. Now that we've seen the data and stats, it's time for story time. The Veterans Day War. We spoke to the chief officers from both sides about this epic Veterans Day war, and both had their opinions about how the war started and why it ended the way it did. The veteran chief officer shared this with us. "We occupied the pass to Asgard Friday afternoon when the nerds least expected this. Although the war was declared for Saturday, Veterans Day, there was no treaty saying that we could not and would not occupy the pass prior. It is never good to assume in war, and the nerds assume to their detriment. Every Asgard city will be taken before we backpedal into our regions that we already own. 24 hours into the war in Asgard, we have pushed them back all the way to their city. Ultimately, we occupied them. Their chief officer role was passed around, but we managed to surround the last one, and that marked the end for Nerdcore." We caught the Nerd chief officer during the midst of the war, and he commented with the following. "Currently, the veterans are winning the war. This is mainly due to the fact that they started before 11/11/17, the agreed upon date to start the war. With them ambushing us at the pass, we are at a major disadvantage. The veterans have had a massive boost to strength after having most of the strongest players join them. They now have every single heavy spender and a vast majority of the experienced players. Saying that things look bleak would be an understatement." After the war was over, we did a bit of our own intelligence gathering and discovered Nerdcore was allegedly plagued with defectors, spies, and moles. First Vet Division's occupation of Nerdcore was also allegedly successful because the chief officer position was intentionally passed to a player that was close to the pass, so it would be an easy target for the vets to overtake. Many Nerdcore players have since moved to join a non-featured Nerd Alliance. As the stakes get higher, more and more diplomacy, calculations, and strategy will be needed if the nerds wish to turn things around. If they can pull it off, it'll be one amazing comeback story. Stay tuned. Day 4. Start battle campaigns, expand your territories. You've conquered all the resource lands around your main city. Now it's time to move towards richer territories. If you've logged in for 4 successive days, you will receive the Gyro Thea as a reward. You can consider the following Gyro grouping: Rear, Thea; Center, Helios; and Front, Prometheus. Your ally is a great springboard. At this point, you should have enough troops and soldiers at your disposal, and this is when you should start to look for more level 4 lands. Click on the small map on the right to view. The blue dots are all your allies' territories, and the green dots represent you. How to differentiate the colors of the land. Wilderness, no specific color. Your land, green. Neutral, light red. Friendly, light red and blue. Hostile, carmine, a very dark red color. Occupied by an alliance or yourself, yellow. Alliance, blue. You can link to lands that belong to anyone in your alliance, and use these lands to launch your attack as if these lands are yours. Essentially, you can use your allies' lands as a springboard to link to allies located far away from you. Once you've found a resource-rich land near the main city of your ally, take the initiative to right this ally. Inform the ally that you'd like to go over and develop this land. Then send your troops to occupy a level 1 land and establish a fortress on this level 1 land. Once your fortress is ready, you can move your troops to the fortress to help you expand to more level 4 lands. Once your ally has replied and agreed, you can start to link the lands. Range and soldiers. You're probably wondering why you need to find a level 1 land to set up a fortress. You may think it makes more sense to send your troops directly to attack a level 4 land. In Immortal Conquest, when the range of the march is longer, the number of enemy soldiers you will encounter is higher. Look at this data for a level 4 land with a range of only 27. The enemy enjoys an 81% increase in the number of soldiers. That is, the troop strength almost doubled. So the best way is to find a level 1 land, as no matter how much bonus a level 1 land may enjoy in terms of soldiers, it is not difficult to occupy a level 1 land. Once that is done, you can build a fortress on the level 1 land. When the fortress is ready, you may move your troops to the fortress from the main city. The most important thing here is to remember your basic manners. Make sure you inform your ally before you send troops to your ally's territory to occupy lands nearby. Otherwise, your ally might get angry. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.